Okay, today we're going to be taking a look at this machine right here. It's a IBM PS2 model 56486 SLC2. Earlier this year, in 2017, I have done a few upgrades to it. I didn't make videos of it at all, but I did go through some things with it, and I just figured I'd button it up and have it sit here. Well, I decided I wanted to play with it again, so I got some more packages for it, and we are going to take a look at the insides and see if I can get this to, I guess, its final state. So this is just a little introduction for this video, and I will bring it up to the top of the workbench, and where I will open it up and give you a look inside. Now this case, it's up on the workbench right now, and it opens up a little different than anything else I've ever seen. We have one thumb screw, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on camera. If I can't, well, I'm just going to edit this out. And then you slide the entire thing. One-handed is recommended, I guess, by IBM. No, I don't think so. And yeah, there it is. And then you have a full metal case around the entire thing. So this right here, this is a pretty substantial. It's makes the entire thing very this part's heavy by itself, but adding that around the entire thing makes it a lot more so. So it's been a few months since I opened this up, so I kind of forgot where a lot of this, well, the placement of some of the things, especially the hard drives, and I'll get into that. So, what is original? Well, yes, the motherboard obviously is original. Well, let's back up. So I got this about 14 years ago, and it's been sitting for about 12. And so I decided to pull it out of storage this past year. Went to go power it on. You know what? Let's go back again. So in that time where it was set up before, between 11 and 13 years ago, thereabouts, I really didn't do much with this machine. It came to me with, I'm assuming that is the original hard drive. It's an IBM, part number, everything else. So I'm pretty sure that's the original hard drive. Now, one of the things that I wasn't doing stuff with it was because this is a different type of architecture than what I normally had at that time, and different than what I even have now. Hard drives are connected with SCSI. So, like I said, it came to me with, okay, it's a 200 megabyte original hard drive, and I have to, oh, there it is actually, I need to find, one second. It also had this drive in here, this Quantum. It's a, if I remember correctly, it's a 300 meg, thereabout. So 50 pin SCSI. So I forget exactly which one was which, but obviously one of them was here, and then there is a, what's behind this plate. We'll just actually swing that open. one as well. So, yeah, I see that I might have a little issue in a little part of this video, but I'm gonna plow through it, see what happens. Anyway, so it already came with 2 drives. I did not have any other SCSI drives. So wasn't gonna buy any, so there's nothing for me to play with. It also came populated with both of those memory slots filled. You see that there's another one here. Well, the thing is, let's go back a little more again. This is a 46 SLC2. And it's IBM. I'm pretty sure. I will correct it if there's a yeah, it's an IBM, and I think it's made in conjunction with Cyrix. But one of the things that chip makers were doing at the time, if you have Intel's 46, well, there would be, you know, chip makers would release a 486 processor, but not be exactly a 46. At its heart, this is still a 386 for the most part. And with that being said, the maximum amount of memory that it can take is 16 megs. So yes, it came to me with 2 8 meg SIMs, and if anything would be put into here, it wouldn't even be recognized. So it's just for the fact that you have 3 slots. If you have 4 meg SIMs, you can get up to 12 if you do 444. But if you have 2 8s, that's all she wrote. So I'm going to take this a little bit further apart and show you more of the insides. Okay, so I got a little further taken apart. Was fooling around with something to make sure that my plan would actually work, at least in theory, and it seems to be okay, but I'll get to that when I get to it. And I think the first revision of the 56, or is it 46 SLC, doesn't have this area for the hard drive. I'm not, maybe I shouldn't have said anything about that. It doesn't really matter. See down there, there's a CPU, 50G7261. It is the 46 SLC2. The 2 designates its clock multiplied by 2. So yeah, the bus is at 25, and the CPU runs at 50. I don't think this is a. You have a math coprocessor. I'm almost 100% certain this was installed by the previous owner. Math Co, Advanced Math Coprocessor. ULSI Systems. Yeah, of course you can read that. But so it does have a, I guess, a 387 compatible, and that's in there. This came with an Etherlink 3 MCA card, and so like I was saying before, that's one of the reasons why I never actually played with this one so much, because, you know, it basically had everything that I could do with it. It had the network card, it had the maximum amount of memory, it had enough hard drive space, and it had 2 hard drives. Fooling around with it wouldn't really result in much more, except for me needing to get more parts. And getting more parts I did. Well, we'll first start off with taking it out of storage. Found out that it was completely dead. power supply, you know, it's no power, no nothing. It was, and before anybody says anything, and who's knowledgeable about this, who's seen things about it, yes, that was set up to bypass the case. That if the case is off, it wouldn't power up. Well, yes, of course, I made sure that that was actually on the on position before I continued on with that. So I'm gonna take a little walk over to the computer parts graveyard, I guess. This stuff is actually going gonna be chucked. So let me find what and don't get too upset with me. I'm not an electrical engineer, so diagnosing these things are it's not my strong suit. So I'm gonna have to, and I'll get to that. I need to see which one is which. Okay. I'm not exactly sure it matters. Okay. So one of these is the original. And yes, it's completely mangled. So yeah, power wouldn't go, no power on. IBM did not want you in these things, and this one is, both of these are Magnetech, yes. Both of them are Magnetech. So, you just wouldn't power on. Open it up, there are no screws, it's all riveted. So, not very careful about that, and I apologize. All right. So looking online, I did find one of these original. I found this. It says it was working. I think it was whatever. The replacement, it says, was working, and so I got it. It did power on. Good sign, good sign. Notice the fan was not spinning. Okay. Fan was not spinning. So we'll use this as an example. I don't think this would be so the support for the, okay, you know what? I'm not doing good with visuals here. I'm going. Is that it? Why am I? I'm gonna keep this heatsink. I have a project for that. Okay, whatever. The support around it was broken. So, support for the motor housing was broken. So the blades would be spinning or try to spin, but get caught up on the sides because it wasn't structurally sound. It wasn't holding it in place to keep it the proper length away from around the fan area. So that needed to be taken apart. In doing so, another riveted. Yeah. You see where this is going. It just, I may have screwed it up. I don't know, but that was not a good sign for these things. When I was looking for the replacement one like this, which said it was working, there was another one that I saw online, although it said that condition unknown, might have been in water in a flood somewhere. that was the only other option that I had in there, except for, actually becoming more acquainted with testing out different parts of the power supply. But if I had that other power supply there, I can see if that worked. So might as well buy it. It was cheaper than this other one, and so that's what I did. And I'll go over to the other side now. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll keep these two, just in case anything should go wrong with that one. I don't know. Part of me just wants to get it out of here because there's just stuff that needs to go. So as you saw, the other one was a magnetron. This one is actually a delta. And, well, it has a nicer looking fan with the grill, and this feels better. And obviously, since it's in the case, this one actually did work. So that was good. I had a machine which was exactly like it was 11, 12 years ago. I did replace the battery. And so what did I do first? It doesn't really matter. I'll just go through this card. Getting a sound card for an IBM PS2 is not the easiest thing to do. I think there's a sound blaster for it, but prohibitively expensive if you could even find it. If you do a search for any sound card on eBay for this kind of device, it will give you, I think, a text-to-speech thing. I was looking through, it was V. Westlife, who on one of the videos made me get familiar with this card. And it's, upside down. M-ACPA. And wouldn't you know it, there was one online when I went. I paused the video at that point. I looked, did a quick search for it, and I found the only one that I could at that point. There could be more out there now, I don't know, but at this point, that was it. And I got it, and it works. There's going to be some footage. This is probably going to be a very long video, as my other ones are too. But if you want to watch it, you watch it. If you don't, you don't have to stay. So I am going to be redoing this machine, installing stuff from scratch on this again. This was running Windows 3.11 with DOS 6.22. Yes, it's going to run that same thing again. It's going to be exactly as it was before, but there's a reason why I'm going to be changing stuff out or redoing it. One last thing that is original on this, it's on board. It does actually have XGA2 graphics, which is much better than the standard VGA with it. So kind of decked itself out. The other thing that I did buy with this, and there's a little story as to why the configuration is as it is. It's a Seagate Hawk ST31231N. It's a 1 gigabyte SCSI hard drive, and this was running in it for the last few months. Problem, and I mean, it was mentioned in the listing and everything else. No jumpers. There's no jumpers that come with it. I figured, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. I have jumpers, whatever. Problem, you have jumpers like that size. I have absolutely no jumpers to fit them. And this is like the bank that controls termination. So what do I do to terminate the SCSI bus? I was looking at buying, seeing if there is a website that I found that actually had the jumper model for it, but I couldn't find anything like that. I was thinking of maybe going on eBay and just a random lot of jumpers, different sizes, maybe, hope against hope that there would be something that would fit these. No, that didn't work. Then I thought, before I even thought about actually getting a Terminator for it, I figured, this was in here, this was in the machine before. The termination settings were as this would be terminating on the bus. So, you know what? I will just pop this back in, and basically, it's not so much just to get an extra 200 megabytes of space, because 1 gig is sufficient. It's actually to terminate the bus. So, with that being said, and you might have figured this maybe with the title of this video, what are we doing now? First thing, well, in the meantime, when I was taking apart this and I got the hard drive out and everything else, I ran into like a little head scratching moment of how do I figure this out. I took the hard drive out of there, and there's something else that's going to go in there, and you probably figured it out then. Don't know if it will work. My problem right now was actually mounting. We have a SCSI CD-ROM drive. Do I need it? No. No. It has a termination though, so I don't need that extra 200 meg hard drive in there anymore. So as we see that there are guide rails for that, so we need something on the drive to actually fit that. I'm sure there's an official IBM part, but here is a jerry-rigged. I have a rail like that, and I have a rail mounted that way. I'm not putting it in now. I did before, and it's actually surprisingly stable with this type of configuration. I do have a box. It's very dark, but no, that wouldn't work better. That would not work better. But well, as you can see, it's stuff like that. It's for old computer cases that and the jazz drive disk for some reason. Mounting hardware for older. Oh, did try this. It's a little too long. I guess I could cut it down in size, but you'll see how this other one actually mounts. It's actually fairly nice. Rolling along here. So that's one thing. I got something else too. Hold up. This is a SCSI2 SD adapter. So, no more mechanical drive in this one either anymore. It came with listing came with a 4 gig, I'll keep it in there for now, 4 gig drive, disk, flash card, SD card, whatever. I'm going to be using a 2 gig card and do a 2 gig hard drive on this thing. If you're familiar with a IDE to compact flash adapter, this is similar but very, very different. Whereas IDE and compact flash have basically the same architecture. It's just the placement of pins. It communicates the same way. SCSI and SD are very, very different. So you need logic. One thing about this that's there's no jumpers on here. So how do you set the ID? And you set termination by taking these off. So how do you go about and do that? Well, there's a program for it, and I'm going to go and load it up right now. So I'm doing this real time. I have not plugged it in, so I might make a mistake. Don't know. It's being plugged in now. We have an activity. And it looks like looks like it sees it. So I don't think that needs to have any changes right there. We'll have SCSI ID now came from the factory SCSI ID 6. It should be 0, right? The original IBM hard drive says SCSI ID 6. I put this one, SCSI ID 6. Let's make this SCSI ID 6. Hard drive, full 2 gigs. Let's do a save. Okay, well, that was painless. So let's unhook that. So, I guess modern equivalent of jumpers is all software and whatever. I mean, that's just pretty neat. So I guess that worked. Next thing to do. I need to find it. Hold up 1 second. And it was already on my desktop, I guess. I need a reference disk. Device changes and everything else. You need to reconfigure it using a boot floppy. So let's make the boot floppy. Okay, interesting. Oh, okay, good enough. And I'm getting slower now. Not thinking as clearly. So that'd be R, F. Right? SL56 SLC2 reference disk is yes. And I need the reference disk. So we will write it. And here are some other things. I'll move that down because I am pretty sure, just for the sake of being smooth, we have ADF files. So let's copy these. One of them should be for the network card. One of them should be for the sound device. I don't know what the other one is for. Probably downloaded incorrectly. But let's just copy that to the floppy as well, so it's not confused. Oh, okay, well, this already has that. So I'm sure one of those was the the sound device, at least one of them. Well, no, only one of them would be. Anyway, rambling too much right now. I am gonna go start to button some things up, and I'll be back with the machine gonna be starting to power on from the reference disk. Now, yeah, that's not properly mounted, is it? But it is connected. See, ROM drive is connected solidly. So, yeah, that's not moving until you push it out from the back. So that's good. Reference disk is in there. Everything is hooked up. And I am very curious to see what is going to happen. So yeah, I got a configuration change. I don't know what that all means. But we are booting off the reference disk, it sounds like. Oh, no. Oh, wow. I completely forgot about a memory test. So like I said, I'm at 16 megs, and all I can do right now is assume that is because of the hardware changes, that it's not errors to say errors. It does continue on, so you know, that's okay. We have the reference disk. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't have to press anything to continue. Configuration error. Yep. Okay. Yep. Be sure. Yep. Okay. SCSI device error. Okay. Yep. Hard disk initial microcode. Restore. Yep. Okay. Restore system partition. That's yep. Very, very good. Very good. Or is it in more utilities? Or set features? Yes, if I'm set. Oh no, I was right. Set and view SCSI device configuration. Let's see what it finds here. It should give me SCSI IDs of the devices that it sees. Okay. Very good. Very good. We have a 2 gig at ID 1. Very good. Very good. This is wrong. Remove. Very good. A ROM device at ID 1, which is the CD-ROM. Beautiful. So, okay, yes, that was oh, awesome. So, the other drive was set to 5, I guess. It's not there anymore. It sees this. So, we'll save it. Now, oh, what did I need to do? I needed to write it to the drive, right? Okay, probably have to do this again. But yeah, it's just doing exactly like I needed to do. I had the right all of the right ADF files, so it didn't complain. It's like, hey, I don't know what this sound card is. And that has to be that I need to write that, which it said I needed to write. What did I need to write? Oh, it's coming back to me now. This is an interesting machine to work on. I know there's going to be other flubs along the way, and I probably will keep the software side on a separate video because this is probably long enough. I just want to get this hard drive, quote, hard drive, so that the machine doesn't complain anymore and everything is configured on it. I continue, select backup, restore system programs. Backup, restore system programs. Backup, restore system. Oh, you know what? A little reading comprehension goes a long way, doesn't it? Restore the system partition. Make sure that deleted. I don't have the diagnostic. I do have the diagnostic. Did I do that? Did it do it? Yeah, I need to create that. Be back. You know what? I'm gonna go on to part 2. Alright. If you were paying attention to what it was saying on the screen, as obviously I did not, at this point I pressed Y again. They switch it. It's like, do you want to continue? And then, do you want to end? I kept hitting yes. No wonder why it didn't continue. Yes, my last chance. They are so paranoid about you losing all your data, which is good, I guess. So, yes, now that is finally creating the reference disk. Leave the reference disk in the drive and press enter. Now I need to make sure that I read everything because, yeah. Okay. No error, quote unquote, codes. So that's good. Very good. And if we go in here without it complaining, just goes into the thing. Well, it probably will say that the process has completed. That's a good beep. And by the way, oh, okay. Oh, now it's doing more things. Okay. You know, it's strange. I'm not vaguely remember doing this, and this was only a few months ago. Vaguely remember something like this. I knew that there was. Did it cause a problem with going with DOS? Hopefully not. We'll see again. So, you know, that's another reason why I'm doing this from scratch. The other reason, too, I mean, I didn't even think about this, cloning that drive. I've never cloned SCSI drives, especially in an old system like this. It's probably just a good idea to start from scratch. Remove diskette from drive A, insert diagnostic disk, and press enter. Now, in the meantime, I did create the other disk because I had a feeling it would be needed. Oh, and as you see, I'm gonna have to put these somewhere safe, not like that. The resistor banks, so those were taken out of those sockets because the optical drive is terminating the bus. Restoration of the system partition is complete. Cool. Insert the reference disk. And then press enter to end the program. Okay. So let's just, I will show you not gonna make any changes, but I'm still gonna go over this myself. So you know, this is a good sign, like, you know, I have the correct description files for that and description file for that, though that might have been built into the reference disk. So we can say view configuration. So yep, okay, this is fine. 16 megs of RAM. We have the 2.88 3.5 floppy, no drive 1 and 2. Oh, okay. Does that require a description file? I will have to take a look at that. Okay, well, you know what? That's because the ID is 7. That's normal. Yep. We have the 3COM 3C529 and slot 2 is empty, and slot 3, ACPA. So all of that's there. I need to find out not changeable. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, well, you know what? At this point, we will exit and take out the disk, no errors, and we should be ready to install an OS. First things first, add that coprocessor. Next video. Bye. I'm just continuing on. Sure, could get that coprocessor straightened out later. I want to get an OS on here. So we will use, yes, an official Microsoft MS-DOS 6.22 installation. So put that in. Let's turn it on. Now, I don't normally, film something like this because it's just a standard DOS. Hopefully, it's just a standard DOS 6.22 install. Part of me is recalling a little issue with that partition that it created with the reference disk. My memory could be incorrect. But we will see together, won't we? And we are booting from the installation disk. It's exciting stuff, isn't it? Okay, yeah, configure the disk space by itself. Let it, okay, yep. Do your thing. Do your thing, DOS. Now, I have a question. I've seen, before I lose this, the 4 gig SD card that came with that SCSI 2 SD. When people are installing DOS, I've seen some videos where they do it manually. Where they go and do the F-disk by themselves and do format by them. Oh, do you hear that? That's an interesting sound. Anyway, and then they make sure that it's all formatted, everything's nice. It's kind of confusing to me. I don't know, because if you have a standard install of DOS, at least for 6.22, 6.2, if it sees that it's going to be, the only hard drive in your system is not formatted, partition formatted, as you see in this video, it will do it for you. So I don't know. I've never had a problem with it, configuring itself. I will have this part up to where it starts copying the files. I will stop the video at that point, and I will meet you back when it's at a DOS prompt. And then the next fun thing I need to figure out, and I've thought of, I really don't exactly know how to do it. It is getting the SCSI drive working in DOS. So I've never had to, configure a SCSI CD-ROM drive in DOS. So this is the first time for me to do that. And let's see, is it 8:57? I mean, like I said, I did 8:08. Interesting. Date's right, but time is off for some reason. Even though I did replace the battery. Good enough. You do your thing, and catch you in a bit. That was easy. So we have the ASPI 4B in config.sys and an IBM SCSI CD-ROM driver. Sees it, and it loads. Set up MSCDEX in auto exe, and yeah, okay, we have CD. And so thank you ohlandl.ipv7.net, and this is the stuff that you needed to put, and the files are right there. So beautiful, very easy. Now let's see if it reads. I mean, that's the important part. The reason why I wanted to do this now is because I have something very old that I made a long time ago, and I'm curious to see. Well, last time I used it, it worked, which was only a few months ago, but we still might have oh, there it is. This is funny. Burnt that with my first CD burner back in 1999, 2000. This has nice. Oh, I never actually put anything in that drive. I just took it out of its box today, so we'll actually see if it reads a burned disk too. Okay, for a second there it didn't sound necessarily healthy, but calm down. It has a drive. Beautiful. Okay, so we have my quote-unquote Microsoft pack, which has drivers that I was using back in 1999. There's a TNT2 driver, USD IDE Sidewinder, yeah, actually that is SND 144AM is actually, I'm gonna SND 1. That is the driver for a Packard Bell Aztec sound card / modem. So I don't know if that's online anymore. No bother. That's not the point of this, but you see on top of here, Windows 3.1, 95, and 98. So I just okay, so I lie. 2000 is when it was burned. January 20th, so close enough to 1999. Interesting that this is reading it. This is actually quite beautiful right here. But for kind of nostalgia too. I am going to install Windows, if I can actually, yes, install Windows 3.1 from this CD, which I remember doing many times before. So that's okay. Sounds a little off. I mean, it could be the disc. Oh! Well, what do you know? I'm continually amazed right now. So let's do this. I think I've always just done Express. So why not? I mean, if anything goes wrong. Let's see how, I mean, I'll just rebuild it. It's not like it took too long to install DOS, and why would anything go wrong? Yeah. Famous last words, though. So this is much faster and easier than going through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 discs of, I think 2 are supplemental, of a Windows 3.1 install on floppy. So right now, I mean, 3 discs were already copied over, and mouse works. I'm using that one right now, even though I should be using that, right? And who needs a product number with a Windows 3.11? So I'm just going to leave this a little bit longer on here because speed comparison, because I mean, okay, yeah, I'll catch you when Windows is installed. Funny thing, I am going to have to need the Windows 3.1 floppies after all, because I don't think I ever did this, I guess. Installing Windows 3.11 and installing TCP/IP from the get-go. I don't think I've ever did that before. But apparently you need disk 7, which I apparently didn't ever copy onto that CD before. So that's interesting oversight. So it's missing NDIS2 sup and other files from that disk. So just a little interesting thing that 17 years ago, I guess I never needed discs 7 and 8. Oh, so I also have, and these are actual. Yep. We have more unmarked floppies, but I know which goes which. Etherlink for EDOR, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I know that's E-Link DOS. Oof. There. Okay. That was the right folder. I don't know if I had it in frame. Anyway, oh, yeah, we have more disk swapping. But everything else was copied over from the CDs, so back. The CD was bad. It was going through searching for, I should have done custom. I know I should have done custom. But it was going through, searching through programs and, yeah, searching through the CD for programs. Let's see what happens when we reboot, because it was basically to the end. It was just setting up additional applications that I will never use anyway. So, I think most of the stuff That's if the auto exec and config.sys files are written to. That's a good question. If there's a problem, I'm just gonna uninstall and okay, it has the net start. Good, very good. Let's see if dang, I didn't write to the auto exec file. I can set the path myself. Ooh, oh. I don't know. Oh. Alright, well I guess that was a bust. Gonna have to reinstall Windows again. Well, this is turning out longer than I thought, because I'm back to using floppies. I had to start from the very beginning again for some reason. But I just wanted to, that wasn't the main point of stopping right here. Listen. The PC speaker seems to be making a clicky hard drive sound. Anyway, I'll be back when there's more things to show. Alright, I'm back. It's rebooting after the install of Windows. I hope that it's just the disk that's bad. Like I said, it's old. That the drive is not the one that's actually bad. So I should have actually just burned another disk with Windows and see if that worked. Instead, I went with all the floppies, and in the process, I found that disk 3 stopped working correctly. So I had to pull it from my backup again. But instead of going into Windows now, I am going to set up and see if I remember how to do this. The XGA driver, because it was just installed as VGA, and that is the recommended way of doing it. Oh, wait a second. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the XGA. Install the DOS adapt. One. Okay. Oh, yeah. And I think just go through this. Okay. Oh, and that's it, right? Yes, I believe so. Do a reboot. Not remembering it, the best, but we'll see. And then, I know, I got it. Display. Is that what it would be then? Or is it on the disk? I'll be back when I see if it works. Yeah, we're almost done. I have Windows now running at 1024 by 768, 256 color mode. It's running XGA. Finally got that straightened out. Forgot I have to give it a specific monitor something before. Yeah, I kept getting errors. Now, final thing, maybe. I'm curious about this is sound, and I probably forgot like everything about this. So this is the IBM M audio sound driver. Beautiful. Okay, let's see if this installs without giving me any problems. Yes. Oh, I don't have a Windows is restarting. I don't have. Should have. Oh! It went through the internal speaker. All right, so I don't need. I can connect. So I know that the sound works. Oh, that's that was pretty easy. There's one last thing to do on this, and you see it on the other videos. You have to, and I'm probably going to get this wrong because I'm doing this from memory, and whatever. And I think, yes. I think you do this for everything except the last one. We'll know this. Okay. And I would guess the last, well, the test for that, and this is a long video, I am aware, but we should Well, sorry about that. So, I am going to close this up, and I am done for the day. I'll be back in a second. Here it is from the beginning. Yeah, it's not... It should be pushed out a little further. Oh well. Maybe if I get real anal about that or something, you know, could get maybe the right rails. Do they exist? I don't know where they exist. Turn that on. But no hard drive noise. It's all we have is that fan. I did not figure out that I have coprocessor issue, but it's not a huge deal. Yeah, so it does take a little while. I mean, it is disconnecting to the network. I don't know if that audio is on the right port. I think that was just coming from the machine. Yeah. Windows networking does make it start up a little slower, and you're not seeing that. So for sound, yep, that's definitely coming from the speaker. And we can see here too is network, we're on. We have TCP/IP running. Is that part of it? No, I don't know. Nope. I don't know even why. Ugh. I don't even know why I'm typing. Oh, there we go. That's because it is part of it. 1.50. Oh, so we're on the network. I can install. Yeah. Internet Explorer, as I did before. And I guess the last thing, we'll have a proper playing of sounds completely different, but ooh. So never said it was a good card. So anyway, thanks for watching. I know it's long, and I have another video in mind right now, dealing with that again later. Yeah, I never showed 1.77 gigs free, so that's on the 2 gig card, and we have wait, do I have a pre-recorded seat? Yes, I do. Now, doesn't know what to do with these files, but just for the sake of browsing. Open up the readme file. So, okay, bye.